1,000 gallons of consumption registered through customer meters. Works out to be about 582,000 gallons per day produced by the wells, of which 337,000 gallons per day registered through customer meters. It's the equivalent customer consumption of 643 gallons per day per service connection at 524 connections. Unaccounted for water loss is 7,101,000 gallons, or 42% of total production by the wells. So you go year by year comparison, you can kind of see very similar to last year at 6,290,000 gallons. We are looking at a lower, at the bottom of the second paragraph there, unaccounted for water loss, 8,503,000 gallons last year, 52%. So, you know, our repairs and the things we did in the park did work, but there's still more work to be done, and including, as I've discussed in the past, old meters that don't register, and this will be coming up later. There's some things on the main agenda, like the Bruce Lennox meter and things like that. I want to discuss this very point under that, rather than taking it up in this report. Then you can see 2 years ago, even higher, almost 19 million gallons 2 years ago produced by the wells. Then you can also kind of look at when, well, maybe they had a little bit of rain in August. 3 years ago was almost 16 million gallons, 15,913,000, 17 million 4 years ago, and then really dropped off at 12 million gallons 5 years ago. So you can kind of follow those numbers through and through. But at each one, you know, 52%, 51% uncovered water loss, 50%. So I think we've got some, but there's just more work to be done, especially as we look at the Navy with 2 8-inch connections and a 6-inch that are not monitored or metered. So.
That's the first year water loss has gone down as a percentage.
Yeah.
In the last 5
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
It's the right direction.
Right, okay. Okay, water system items. And again, remember this report was a week ago. There's some other ones I'll discuss on the main agenda, it just happened to be on there. We'll go with this one. We located and repaired a leak on Chapunish, and it was a substandard connection. We basically had, if you can relate to this, Bob, a 1-inch service line teeing off to go into 2 services. And so they were the ones also that are higher up that were complaining about their pressure, when a lot of it had been flow because it was not done properly. It was leaking on our side. We got that corrected. We had to replace the meter sets and also put the service lines in, and guess what was running in the same dish with the water line? You want to guess, Bob?
No,
Starts with an S?
I do not want to go to jail.
SEWER. So we basically sleeved the water lines. That
Yeah.
grandfathered in from the 70s, you know. You don't run water and sewer together. The sewer was on top of the water.
Oh my gosh.
So, anyway, we sleeved it so that it would protect at least in that area there with the water lines that we put in.
But just in that area.
Just in
The
that
whole
area.
rest of that line is.
Well,
good.
who knows what's at the other connections on that, you know, remember in that Dromore system, it was the trash can meters, which you can't replace and buy anymore, and it just, everything was done in the, and it was also a very thin wall PVC that was hung over a rock like this, and
Yeah.
the one that was teed off there said, we can't put meters in on this, it might bust and everything cuts loose down the hill.
So did we put 2 separate meters in for
Yes.
this service?
2 separate meters, 2 separate service lines.
2 separate services.
Yes, both 1-inch.
And before a 1-inch pipe was feeding a 2 1-inch pipe?
Two,
Or
they were 2
3/4.
3/4 inch meters. But still, they're the ones that always were complaining about pressure, when a lot of it couldn't be pressure, but it was flow. You know, if one guy's irrigating, the other one's like, if their meters are fighting each other, there's not enough flow through that pipe. So, anyway, when we find things that are improper, we correct it and do it right. So that's what we did. Okay, let's see. The other things really in the water system are on, kind of on the main agenda, if there are any engineers report for Project 1 and Project 2 updates.
Hey, Bob?
Yes.
Let me just
Go ahead.
jump in here real quick.
Yeah.
We probably ought to add that water and sewer lines in the same ditches, and something we need to keep an eye on for future upgrades.
Right,
That is a big deal.
yeah.
We've never encountered something like that.
I have
before,
not
though.
seen it here before, but we've not worked on Chapunish before,
Yeah.
that area, to open up the road to see what's going on.
If we're gonna do any work out there at all.
Right.
You're not gonna walk at that area, that
Yeah.
locale.
However-
Suspicious that there's
Well, it sounds
more.
like you're running the ditch together probably through the whole area.
Yeah.
You don't know what you do.
Well, it's the
That's what
way
I'm-
it, way it appeared, there wasn't any regard for any separation back in the 70s, they just put it.
Yeah,
where-
no, I
where-
understand.
Yeah. So, yep.
But, and then especially with the sewer on top of the
Yeah.
water. it's-
Yeah. So, anyway. Okay. Then you got the typicals, land application treatment site numbers. I'm gonna go more onto the land application treatment site when we get to on our main agenda. We've got some items there with the valve, so I think it'll be appropriate to wait for that discussion till then. Now, when I put down here on the sewer maintenance side, septic tanks, you report in the month of August. I report from meeting to meeting, or meeting to last week when I turned this report in. So obviously there have been more since then, and you're covering the entire month. But yes, it was a big month to have things pumped and repaired. We'll go on the relief, pressure relief and check valves on the main agenda. And yeah, any of the updates on the land app site we're doing on the main agenda with that pressure relief valve. That is my report for now. And the other things